Hello and welcome back to Mastering Flat Design. In this lesson we're going to put some dividers in between our buttons, and we're going to do that by putting a little bit of space between each one of them. And we're going to start by grabbing everything except for the home button. So we're going to grab About, Services, Blog, and Contact. So here we have the home background layer and then the home button. We're going to grab everything above that from About BG all the way up to our Contact text layer. And I'm going to nudge everything to the right 4 pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4. That way we have 4 pixels of spacing in between the home and about button. Then I'm going to grab everything from the services button all the way up to the contact text layer, nudge that over 4 pixels. Then we'll grab blog all the way up to contact, nudge that over 4 pixels. And then we'll just grab the contact BG layer and the contact text layer and nudge it over 4 pixels. Now I want the lighter gray color background to show through in between these items. So instead of having this one gray bar that goes behind everything, I want to split that up a little bit. So I'm going to basically select that nav BG layer, Command T to transform it, or Control T if you're using a PC. And I'm going to bring this all the way over to the left edge of the home button. And then I still want there to be 4 pixels of padding in between the home button and that background. So I'm going to nudge that gray background to the left 4 pixels. And the reason I'm nudging that to the left instead of the home button to the right is because I want the left edge of that home button to line up with the left edge of our content. So we want that spacing on the left edge of the home button. So we moved that over instead of moving the home button over. And then we're going to grab this nav BG layer again and make a copy of it and drag that copy over here to the right. Well, there's a couple of ways we can make a copy of it. We can select the layer and then drag it down to the new layer icon to make a copy. Another option is we can hit Command J and that will make a copy of the layer. But the quickest way to do it is with our Move tool selected, I'm going to hold on to the Option key or the Alt key if you're using a PC, and then just click and drag. And as you can see, that makes a new copy of it. And as I drag it to the right, I'm going to hold on to the Shift button so that it doesn't move up and down. It just moves directly to the right. And we'll drag it until it snaps to the right edge of the Contact button there, and then nudge it to the right 4 pixels. Then we're going to resize this, so we'll hit Command T to transform that, and then just drag the right edge out to the edge of the stage, like so. Now to add a little bit more visual interest to these dividers, I'm going to put a circle in between each button. And we'll see what that looks like once we do it. But I'm going to go to the Ellipse tool. And with the Ellipse tool, for the fill color, I'm going to eyedropper the orange color that we use for the home button. And then for the stroke color, I'm going to eyedropper our background color. And right now we've got our stroke at 3 points, and we'll see if that looks good. For now, I'm going to zoom into the left edge of the home button. And actually, let's start on the right edge between home and about. I'm going to put my cursor right between the home and about buttons, click and drag out. I'm going to hold on to Shift so that it stays a perfect circle. I'm also going to hold on to Option or Alt if you're using a PC to drag out from the center so that it drags out in all directions. So then we're going to make it a little bit wider than the divider itself. Somewhere around 16 pixels will probably work. And then we need to drag that above all of our other layers. We'll drag that all the way up to the top above the contact layer. V to switch to the Move tool, Command 1 or Control 1 on a PC to zoom out to 100%. And there we go. I'm going to nudge that down 1 pixel to center it a little better. And that looks good. So let's rename this Nav Divider. And then we'll just make some copies of this layer. So I'm going to Command J to duplicate that layer. We'll nudge this copy over here to the left and then just center it over that divider, like so. Command J to make another copy, and we'll move this copy between About and Services. And I'm just using the arrow keys with the Move tool selected to move everything around. Command J to make another copy. And we'll do this until we have a divider between every pair of buttons. And as I'm sure you've noticed, we've accidentally changed the background color of our nav bar over on the right. We'll get back to that in just a second. Let's make one more copy. Nudge this over And we're actually going to need to fix that coloring now because it also put a border around it and we're losing some of the visual effect we're going for. So let's right click on that layer, click on Nav BG copy, and hit A to switch to the direct selection tool so that we can change the settings for it. For the fill color, we're going to eyedropper this one over here on the left, click on OK. And then for the stroke color, we're going to turn that off. We don't want to stroke on that right nav bar. V to switch back to the move tool, and there we go. So now I'm going to select this last divider by right clicking on it and clicking on the name of that layer, which is nav divider copy 5. And then we'll nudge it over until it's centered over that gap between the two buttons. And there we go. Now we have some nice dividers. So before we move forward, let's group everything together and make it look better. Let's grab all of our dividers, all of our divider layers in our layer stack. And I want to make a folder. I'm going to put all of these into a folder. And the keyboard shortcut for doing that is hitting Command, Shift, Option, and clicking on this folder button. If you're using a PC, you would hold on to Control, Shift, Alt, and click on that folder button. And that will give us a new group. And we're going to call this group Dividers. And it will put all of those layers inside that Dividers group. So we can minimize that and get it out of the way. Also, I'm going to grab all of our buttons here from Contact all the way down to Home and Home BG, as well as the Nav BG layers. And we'll put all of those in a group called Nav Buttons. And then we'll grab both of these groups here, the Dividers and the Nav Buttons group, make sure both of them are selected, and then again, Command, Shift, Option, and click on the folder or group button, or again on a PC, it would be Control, Shift, Alt, and the folder button. And we'll call this group Nav. So now we have a nice clean timeline, and if we need to get into any of those, we can just drill down into those folders to find the information we need. So let's save our file. We're going to save it as flatdesign04.psd, and we'll move on with the next video. Thank you for watching.